Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
And welcome back to the McDonCast, the funnest podcast in town. Sam, if I've already
the only podcast around.
If I've already started the intro, you don't come in behind me. You're supposed to come in where I'm at.
Yeah, there's lag, so that's never gonna happen.
What are you talking about?
There's like lag with the call, so we're always gonna be like a half second
Sounds like
behind,
you need to get better internet.
We're not. Well,
maybe it's
we
time to upgrade those telephone poles.
If we did like a laser optic cable from my apartment to wherever you're recording, then we could maybe be in sync enough to make that work.
I'm in Discord City, Sam, obviously.
It would depend on however long it takes for light to travel from where I'm at to where you're at, so that would be
Doesn't
the lag.
light travel like as faster than light?
What?
Doesn't nothing travel faster than light? Wouldn't that be pretty fast?
Yeah, nothing travels faster than light, but light still travels at a speed.
Why does light travel so fast?
Because it is weightless.
But there are a lot of things that are weightless.
No, but it doesn't have any mass.
Neither does air.
In order to travel at the speed of light, you need one of two things. You should know this. This is in the Flash. You either need infinite energy.
Yep.
Or you need zero mass.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have one of those to travel at the speed of light.
Let's just get infinite energy. But isn't infinite energy like impossible?
Uh-huh.
So then how is light able to do that? If it does light have infinite energy?
It has zero mass. You need one of those two things.
Oh, only one? Let's just create something that doesn't weigh anything.
You can't create something with zero mass.
Yeah, you can.
Mass isn't weight. Mass is how much material is in it.
I can make a thought. A thought has zero mass. And has
No,
infinite
a thought is made up of the electrons in your brain, which is
but
traveling
it has
at the
no
speed of light.
mass.
Correct.
Yeah. Boom. Thoughts move the speed of sound or the speed of light or whatever we're talking about. I'm very tired.
Well, no, because they move at the speed that you can communicate them in.
But if you can communicate them via telepathy, then they can move at infinite speed.
Maybe.
Yeah, you just gotta
It would
read
depend on
those.
how the telepathy works.
It just does.
And no, because it would depend on whoever you're telepathying it to would have to be able. It would be the speed that they're understanding it at.
Do the Scientologists believe in telepathy?
I think they have to because it exists in Star Wars.
But like, is it like a normal? Is that part of Dianetics just normally?
I don't know what Dianetics is.
That was the book L. Ron Hubbard wrote. That was the basis for all of Scientology. He wrote a couple sequels. Then he wrote Battlefield
I don't know.
Earth.
Maybe. Alrighty,
Anyway.
Let me give you guys a brief rundown of what's going on today. We
done.
got trailers. We got more stuff that won't happen. We have the PlayStation 5 State of Play that none of you knew happened.
And
we have the
missed nothing.
HBO. HBO is doing some stuff. And we got the Variety Best TV Performances list.
So it was a slow news week.
So let's start things off. Yeah, not a lot happening this week.
Yeah, but that's
But
fine.
we can start things off with the two trailer. Let's see who is doing accounting.
Sam, are you even aware of what the accountant is? Have you even heard of this before in your entire life?
I have no idea what the accountant is.
The accountant was
captions are unavailable for this. There we go.
The Accountant was a 2016 action film starring Ben Affleck, directed by Gavin O'Connor. It was a moderate theatrical success all the way back in the year of our Lord 2016. And then everyone kind of forgot about it because there's nothing notable about it. And then a few years, I think like 2 years ago, it just randomly blew up on Netflix. It was just one of those things that everyone just decided to watch one week on Netflix.
Oh, Did like clips of it go viral on TikTok or
I
something?
I don't remember that happening. I think it was like everyone's dad watched it. Like everyone's dad watched it on Netflix one day. I think that's why it blew up. So Amazon, MGM, who apparently owned the rights
Oh,
to it.
it was the dad hive mind.
Yeah, it's a dad movie. It's got a bunch of men over 50 holding guns, fighting like what are probably ethnic stereotype villains. But Amazon MGM has greenlit a sequel. Ben Affleck is returning as beloved character Christian Wolf, an autistic accountant who launders money for the mob or whatever. And then John Bernthal
Christian Wolf
is back as his brother Braxton Wolf, and they have to team up.
Of course,
to fight some assassins.
Everyone knows Braxton Wolf.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons is in it. It comes out in April.
Who's the one who does reviews of who's the guy who reviews handheld consoles on YouTube?
The
Wolf Den guy.
You're gonna have to narrow that down.
His brother made like comic videos. He's friends with beat 'em ups.
I'm not on top of the video game YouTuber space these days. I have no idea.
Well, you know Scott the Woz.
I am aware of Scott the Woz.
Okay, he's friends with beat 'em ups, and beat 'em ups is friends with Bob Wolf. That's his name. Is Bob Wolf in this movie too?
I don't know. Maybe in Accountant 3.
Yeah.
We get more Wolf brothers.
In Accountant 3, they reveal their third brother.
No, I think this is just notable for being,
and nothing else happening.
There's like the whole subgenre of media where it's like people who don't understand autism write entire movie about people with autism. Like there's this, The Good Doctor,
sure, yeah.
Rain Man,
The Good Doctor,
Unbreakable Boy, like stuff like that. The Predator,
right.
Shane Black's The Predator, where it's like they think autistic people are just like walking computer software, and or whatever The Good Doctor is, where he's just very concerned with being a good surgeon or whatever. I just think that I can't believe this this is still around. Like we're still so much progress.
That's what the accountant was.
Yeah, he's like an autist. He's good at math because he has autism. That's like his thing. That's why he's a good accountant.
Oh, I thought he was just like an accountant.
The poster for this movie is Ben Affleck like photoshopped up against just like a random wall, and it just says "Find the accountant" on it, and it's like, yeah, I found him. He's right there. I found him for you.
Oh, I saw the on the corpse it says "Find the accountant" on it.
Oh, it's probably part of the plot. See, he wants to make a trilogy.
All right. Well,
he says that the director's describing it as a Rain Man on steroids.
I mean, that makes perfect sense.
If Rain Man had a gun.
That seems like exactly what it is.
Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise.
It's like if Rain Man was John Wick.
Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise, both still alive. Barry Levinson, still working. Why not make Rain Man 2? You know what I'm saying? What's Rain Man up to these days?
Yeah, why not?
Does he have a gun now?
Probably rain.
Making rain.
Probably raining on men.
Raining all over men these days. No, let's do it. Why not? This is also owned by MGM. This could be like they could have a whole autistic guy cinematic universe.
Dude, we could do the autism cinematic universe. And then there can be just a regular train conductor.
Isn't that just the My Little Pony universe?
I don't think so. I don't think any of those characters are in My Little Pony.
I was joking. Like the people who are into that have autism.
Oh, I mean the ones who are like adults.
Yeah, the bronies, the bronies. The ones who obviously
the bronies, it's like the bronies thing. Although the bronies have it's not really a thing anymore.
Yeah. No,
I think it just got so old that like it kind of faded away.
I think it went away when that version. I don't know if they did another My Little Pony incarnation after that. I think there were plans, but I don't know if it ever came out.
Yeah, I haven't. At least if they have, I haven't heard about it.
It was not nearly as big. That show got a movie. That was a big property, like in theaters. It got a movie. Did they ever reboot it? Now I gotta know.
All right. Well, let's talk about the other trailer. We got a trailer for Until Dawn 2.
Well, this is the second trailer for Until Dawn. Be wild to get the trailer for Until Dawn 2. Until
Oh,
Dawn
yeah,
1's
right,
not out
right,
yet.
right. We got the sequel to the trailer to Until Dawn.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
Until Dawn
That's
trailer
what everyone was wondering. Oh, yeah, they did. They made another My Little Pony cartoon.
2. So they're not doing
canceled.
Until Dawn at all. They're just doing a different thing.
It appears to be a very different thing. Yes, you are correct. But I
like,
honestly...
wholly unrelated.
I feel
like,
that...
not even a little bit related.
I think there's some characters who are in both. And some monsters who are in both. And then, like,
There's only one monster in the game.
And then, like, the concept is the same, I think. Time loop, dying over.
No, the concept is very different. There's no time loop in Until Dawn. That's not a thing in Until Dawn.
What is Until Dawn about?
Until Dawn is about a group of friends who go to hang out at this haunted cabin just a weird cabin in the mountains.
Yep.
And then over the course of the night, one of them gets injured and needs like medical treatment. And so they call in like EMS and they can't get there until dawn. So they have to survive the night. And over the course of the night, in an attempt to help her, they like go around this like property. One of their friends ends up pretending to be a serial killer just to freak them out, which is kind of like a red herring. And then there is an actual Wendigo in the or a bunch of them on the property as well that are like actually haunting the property. And then you have to make choices to survive the night, and then at the end the helicopter comes and takes everyone home and everyone's fine, unless you don't make the right decisions, and then everyone dies.
So then this is a drastically different take, which again I feel
this has nothing to do with the game.
Well, it has the same title. That's about it. Let's see. Set in the same universe and featuring an original standalone story that expands upon the mythology. So I don't. Yeah, it doesn't appear this was ever intended to be an adaptation directly of the game. But the game itself it's a choose your own adventure thing. It's like it's like a Telltale thing. Like there's very little game to it.
Kind of.
I feel like
now it does have this narrative framing device where there's this mysterious author type character who, in between the different chapters of the game, will give you like a little update on how well you're doing, I guess, and be like, so you've learned your lesson about. And when they made the sequel to Until Dawn, it was also an unrelated story about its own thing, but that narrator character was the same. Yeah, and so I believe that this is like another one of those like the narrator character guy is the same and everything else.
They remade it for PlayStation 5. Did you know that?
Nope.
Yeah. See, this is directed by David F. Sandberg of Shazam 1 and 2 fame. Co-written by Gary Dauberman from various Conjuring pictures. This is you could do a worse. You could do worse. You could do a worse creative team.
Yeah, you could definitely do worse.
Did you see speaking of Shazam, did you see Zachary Levi got interviewed by Matt Walsh this week?
Oh no, but it's fun to see the Zachary Levi crash out continues.
Yes, yeah. Well, his new movie comes out this week finally. Even though it was shot like 5 years ago.
The Unbreakable
the Autistic
Boy
movie. Yeah. The Zachary Levi fights autism movie, or with the Jesus. I don't know what it's about, which is weird since they've seen the trailer 85 times. But
it's about a kid who struggles.
Yes, and
his family is out there to help.
They use the power of family and friendship to fix bullying.
Yes,
it's weird that we're still writing movies as if like that kind of bullying still exists in schools.
Well, I don't think it's so much about bullying. I think it's more about just like the kids struggling in school. But struggling to like behave and stuff like that. That's what it seems like from the trailer.
Generally, movie writers fail to depict struggling in school as anything other than like someone shoved me against a locker and stole my lunch money.
No, but we saw in the trailer he has like outbursts in class and that kind of like that is a fairly, at least
I wonder if they're
from my own personal experience, that is a fairly representative version of like showing some of the issues
Anyway,
that
no,
that kid
I
might
didn't.
deal with.
That's not why I brought this up. But he was in. I didn't watch the interview because obviously, why would
I didn't
watch
even know that happened.
But he in it. He was talking about how he thought Shazam 2 would have been like this big hit. He was thinking it was going to be bigger than the first one, and he was like, I don't know why people didn't like it. I thought it was way better. And I was like, that's probably just because you were in the second one more.
Look, no, I mean, honestly, until the end, I think it is better.
You hate that movie. What are you talking about?
I hate the end. I hate the... Most of the movie is fine up until the ending.
Do you just hate the ending is what ruined part? Where they're trapped in a dome?
Not the dome part. The fact that he sacrifices himself and then Wonder Woman just shows up and magically has the power to revive him. And then he gets revived.
What are you talking about? Stupid. They established that at a throwaway line earlier in the movie. I don't understand how you didn't get this.
Yeah, that's silly. That's ridiculous. That's dumb. The rest of the movie was fine. I mean, there's some weird stuff with like a 1,000-year-old demigod dating like a 12-year-old boy. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, but they look the same age, so it's fine.
And like the Skittles product placement was random and weird. But like aside from that, the movie was fine, except for the ending was just in my opinion, the worst DC movie ending of all time.
Oof. The worst ending of all time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's see, what are we up against? Aquaman 2. The Flash.
At least the ending of that one was funny.
The Flash had a pretty
the Flash movie
ending.
Yeah, but it fit the rest of the movie.
But it doesn't make it good. It's still bad.
No, but it makes it a better ending, because if the whole movie's bad and then the ending is bad, it's like,
he sees George Clooney.
If the movie's fine and then the ending is atrocious, that's a bad ending.
Okay,
like it tonally matches the rest of the movie.
You're saying like that ruined the whole ending that ruined the whole movie, not just like the ending of the movie sucked, but the rest of it sucked too. So it doesn't matter.
Like I think that has to be part of it, because like a sucky ending is a sucky ending, but if the ending ruins the movie, that ending is way worse.
Let's see, Superman 4 and the same as every other Superman movie with Christopher Reeve. Justice League. What was the ending of Justice League?
Justice League has a way better ending.
I don't even remember.
They beat up the alien.
Yeah, and then they stand on that. They stand on the nuclear power plant. But like, what happened? What's like the epilogue?
That's fine.
Isn't it? They just go to the Hall of Justice. Right. That actually wasn't bad.
That's a fine ending.
Zack Snyder's Justice League had a dumb ending. Where the Joker shows up and he talks about like balls or whatever.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
And then he like pulls a card out of his mouth and then nothing happens.
Yeah, but that wasn't really
Batman drops an F-bomb.
That
He's
was
like, I'm going to effing kill you.
That was supposed to be set up for like other stuff, so that wasn't really
for a movie he'll never make.
That movie's fault.
Apparently, Rebel Moon 3, dead in the water, not going to happen.
No.
And one of the actors was being interviewed this week. He was like, "Yeah, there's been no news on Rebel Moon 3." So I know.
Man, what a shame.
I know you were really looking forward personally to the next chapter in that saga.
Yeah, that's really my main. All right, let's talk about the Minecraft movie trailer.
There was another Minecraft. It was a teaser. So this was a minute-long teaser that aired during the NBA All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
It was obvious that in an ideal world this would have ran during the Super Bowl, but this is a Warner Brothers movie, and Warner Brothers is broke as crap, and they can't afford Super Bowl commercials. So they aired this during the NBA Finals, conveniently on TNT, a network they own, meaning they can run this ad for free, and they don't have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So this just shows the extent to which Warner Brothers just cheaped out. There's actually quite a bit of new footage in this. We got our first look at villagers in motion.
We saw the diamond sword.
We see a diamond sword.
Mm.
We see a minecart track,
and
with
it confirms a leaked plot point. That leaked on like 4chan or something.
Yeah, where a villager is going to come to our world and wander around.
And riz up like Reese Witherspoon.
I think it's supposed to be Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, he goes and she falls in love with a villager.
Which sounds a bit from
that kind
2007.
That kind of restores my faith in the movie a little bit.
That restores your faith in the movie.
Yeah.
You were like, I don't know about this, but then you're like, oh, a realistic looking CGI villager man is gonna fall in love with with Jennifer Coolidge.
Because now I know I don't have to take this movie seriously at all.
Did you think you were going to have to before?
No, I didn't know how. I didn't know
what the Minecraft movie
tone was gonna be.
It's directed by the Napoleon Dynamite guy.
Yeah, but I didn't know if the movie was gonna have stakes. Now I know the movie has no stakes at all. Literally nothing matters in this movie.
Nothing mattered before. It's Minecraft.
Yeah, but they could have done like you got to beat the Ender Dragon or like oh you got to save this village. Now I know it's like
well that's gonna be the plot. But like if you're invested in that, you're 2 years old.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna have zero investment, which is I think gonna be a more fun movie.
I boldly predicted that this movie would make $1 billion. I am feeling a little. I have a small smidge of doubt over that being guaranteed now, just because I sense a very real lack of interest in this thing. However, we're still like a little over a month out. They're probably not going to run that extensive a marketing campaign because Warner Brothers is broke. But I feel like this will be one of those things where the week of will just kind of roll around and everyone will be like, well, I guess we're all going to go see the Minecraft movie. And then they all just kind of find themselves there without even like really actively choosing to do that. Like, I feel like this is...
Everyone from the age of like 30 to 10 is going to see this movie.
There's at least going to be a very large surge of just morbid curiosity when this comes out, if nothing else.
Yeah.
It could probably open to like 180 million domestic, just some insane number like that, and then just tank like 70% the following weekend. That's probably more likely than anything else.
I'm going to make a very bold prediction. I think we are going to really like this movie, and I think most people are going to absolutely hate this movie.
I mean, I could see you liking this movie.
No, but I think you would like it, like in the same way that like Napoleon Dynamite, where it's like it's just a silly movie. Like nothing really happens. It's just basically a collection of random bits.
Let's see, highest opening weekends for video games. So the highest opening weekend for a video game movie was Mario at 146 domestic, and then second place is Five Nights at Freddy's, which made half of that, was 78. I think this has definitely got two locked down. Like, there's no way this goes anything. That would be very,
it's gonna do more
very bad if it opened with less than FNAF did.
Yeah.
So I would say this has got to do like 90 to 110 somewhere in there at least.
I could say you could basically double FNAF, I think.
If the reviews for this are just okay, that is like instant $1 billion. Because if the reviews for this are like, this is unwatchable, people will stay away. But the Mario movie had very meddling reviews, and that did like $1.6 billion. So yeah. I feel like this is kind of the same situation. Do you think this would have a better chance if it was animated? I know everyone just thinks live action movies automatically make more money. But do you think that was... Because obviously Mario was the biggest one, and that was animated.
I don't know. Because with this movie's target audience, I'd say is quite a bit older than Mario movie. And because of that, I think doing live action is probably the move.
I think Mario probably... the thing with Mario is it's so broad. Because, like, that movie appeals from everyone from, like, 4 to 50. Like, everyone who has ever played Mario at some point in their life.
Made for a much younger audience.
Well, it's geared toward that, but, like, Mario, the character, like, people across the age range of, like, 50 years have familiarity with. Whereas, with Minecraft, it's, like, it's going to be geared towards younger audiences, but it's probably going to be, like, PG-13. It's probably not going to be PG-13, but it's probably going to be PG. So it'll probably be like around 8 years old is like the target audience. and then you're capped at how old it goes, just because people above a certain age just have never played Minecraft before, unlike Mario. So I think you're working with like a less broad audience. I think the difference is that the audience that this is gearing towards, which is probably like most of the Minecraft player base is probably like 15 to 30.
Well, let's
I would
we
say
can look
somewhere
this
in
up.
there. So I feel like that audience is more enthusiastic, like actively about like going and supporting a movie like this than something like Mario. But I don't know. Again, it's just, you're working with a less.
43% of Minecraft players are 15 to 21 years old.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. It's like the
35% of
teenagers
that
to early 20s.
20% are 22 to 30, and 15% are 30 to 65. Less than 15 years is only 20%. Honestly, this movie probably should have been PG-13.
I mean, it could be. We don't know. I'm just guessing it's probably not, right? Because this is a kid's game. At the end of the day, like Minecraft is a game for kids.
Kids game, but like if we look at the audience is clearly older.
But you also want to make sure you're appealing, because even if the thing with Minecraft is a lot of little kids probably don't even play Minecraft, but they are like aware of everything Minecraft, like all of it. Like they know all the creatures, they know all the mobs and the blocks and the diamond pickaxe and all that.
Yeah,
like at least among little kids,
like from kids who are like watching YouTube videos. That would be mostly from kids like watching like Minecraft content on YouTube. But Minecraft content on YouTube isn't super big right now. And it hasn't been for like really since PewDiePie last played Minecraft.
It hasn't, like, this is not the best time for this movie to come out.
No, I would say this is probably the worst time.
Probably
the
9
worst time
years
in the last
too
10
late.
years you could release this movie.
This movie's 9 years too late. This should have come out in 2006.
Releasing this any time in the last 10 years would have been a better time to release this movie.
Except for maybe like 2020 when COVID was happening.
Oh, okay, except for literally the worst year. But aside from that one,
I'm just interested in the fact that they still have not told us who wrote this movie. It's a month from release, and they don't know. They don't know who wrote this.
You don't need to know. There is no writer of the Minecraft movie.
Yeah, well, there is. The thing is, there's probably about 25 writers of
it. It was the robot wrote the Minecraft movie.
The AI. It was an AI. But
I just don't want to say it.
Are you looking forward to this? Honestly, I'm not dreading it like I was when that first teaser dropped. I'm more... Again, it's more morbid curiosity at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to watch it.
Oh, yeah, of course we're going to watch it. That's without question.
But I'm like... I mean... I'm not really like... I'm not hyped for it.
Me neither. I'm not going to buy
I'm kind of like, yeah, like, I want to see what they did. Like, what did you do?
I just hope it's not annoying. Honestly, if it's ugly, fine.
Yeah.
If it's not very good, if it doesn't have a great story, fine. If the characters are annoying and it like makes a lot of
that would suck
grating sounds,
but that's the thing.
I'm just gonna be upset.
None of the characters in the trailers so far have really annoyed me.
They've done well, I don't know. I don't love this like very like prototypical lineup of big, strong, stoic man in goofy outfit, little boy. I'm guessing probably like sassy female lead, and then like little girl who's probably going to be like, little girl, you can't do archery really well, and then she'll like shoot something really good with a bow and arrow. I can just see the archetypes. Like I just know exactly who all these characters are.
I don't mind like character archetypes existing as long as the characters themselves are not annoying.
Oh, and
like if she's like, yeah.
And then Jack Black looks like
if she is the archetypal like, oh, girl can't do thing and then girl does thing really good. It's like that doesn't bother me as long as she's not annoying.
And you know, Jack Black just looks like his job is just to deliver line after line of exposition. That's it.
Which is fine. That's fine. He can do that. He's funny at that, so that's fine.
That I'm also going to be annoyed by. I'm going to be annoyed by the whole movie having to explain every single element of Minecraft to me every 2 seconds. I understand having to do that, but also like just don't.
I don't know. It doesn't really seem like they're doing that much. Like all we've seen of that so far is him explaining crafting and then saying if you can make it out of blocks, you can make it.
But he's also like,
that really seems like all the exposition you need.
And this is an ender pearl where you throw it teleports you, and buckets are actually useful because you can hold water in them or whatever, and blah 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 blah. This is gonna be a village, and these are villagers. They don't talk, but they make funny noises. Like, you can just see where this is, like, you can see what this is gonna be.
That all seems like first 10-20 minutes type of stuff. I don't think that'll be a thing for the whole movie.
I hope so. I hope it's not like we're 50 minutes in and he's like, oh, we've gone to the nether. This spooky hell dimension.
We've only really gotten stuff from the first, maybe, except for maybe some of the pillager or the piglin stuff. I mean, everything seems to be within the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Only thing they're not showing us, I could imagine they have, that's like a big surprise, is the Ender Dragon. Whatever that's going to look like. But other than that, I don't really know what.
I do like the creeper design. I thought that was cool. He's like hollow. Boys. That's pretty sick. Yeah.
Those mossy boys.
And that confirms Matt Pat's theory from a million years ago that the creepers are made of plants.
Good for you, Matt Pat. What is he up to these days?
Retiring and raising his children.
Bro, what? He's too young to be retired, honestly. You should have to work till you're 40
something.
You should have to work until you're 75. He's 38.
Yeah, he's not
Get back to work, dude. Get back to the coal mine. What are you doing? You went to Duke?
Is there anything else for the Minecraft trailer?
No.
Alrighty, let's talk about How to Train Your Dragon trailer.
Oh,
we saw this one in the theater.
Sam, I saw this on DVD when it came out in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
It looks the same. Like, it's shot for shot, it's the same movie.
It's the same thing.
Like, I saw there's a scene, someone posted on Twitter, there's a side-by-side comparison of the scene where, like, Astrid's giving Hiccup a pep talk on the side of a hill, and literally every line of dialogue is the exact same. The only difference is that in the animated movie, she's sitting on his right, and in the new live action movie, she's standing on his left. That's the only difference. Are you excited to watch this movie again?
That's fine. Like, again, I have continuously said that's fine. I don't care.
You're okay with studios just making the same crap again.
Hang on. If they had done this any other way, people would have been mad about it.
What do you mean by some other way, though?
Like, if How to Train Your Dragon is one of those, like, close to perfect movies, right?
Sure.
So, if you're doing a live-action remake, and you change anything, like the way one of the characters acts on screen, the tone of the movie, the dynamic between one of the characters, the names of places, the aesthetic of a place, you change anything, people are going to go, well, the original one did it better. But if you change absolutely nothing,
they're going to do the same thing.
You can't go, the original one did it better.
Yeah, you can.
The same. It's the same thing.
If it doesn't have the exact same feel and look better and sound better and the performances aren't better, then 100% everyone's just going to say it's not as good. That's going to be every review for this movie when it comes out.
Probably, but like if the performances are like as good, then it like, what are you going to complain about?
I just would have preferred, and this is a horrible comparison because you hate this movie, but like a Mufasa type thing, where it's not at the quality of that movie, but just a different thing, like in this world.
Oh, I mean, that would have been
live
cool.
action.
Like, I wouldn't have had a problem with that, but like, I'm not upset with this.
It would have been cool if they just did a sequel to the movies, but it's live action, and they're all older now. Like, that would have, I feel like that would have been at least something.
Yeah, that's weird.
But then you could have kept all of the same voice actors mostly and just put them in live action. I would have been an adjustment, but I don't think that would have been
because some of the voice actors don't look like their characters.
You could have kept Jay Baruchel.
They don't look. A lot of them don't look like their characters.
You could have kept Jay Baruchel.
Sure, but the rest of them, like,
well, then you recast him. They kept some of the voice actors for this. They kept Gerard Butler and Nick Frost. But I don't know.
I mean, I'm not upset with this. I mean, it would be cool if
it's bad,
see
I'm
more other
upset.
stuff. But like, if we see more other, if this movie does well, we might get other How to Train Your Dragon live action stuff.
If this movie does well, they're just gonna remake How to Train Your Dragons 2 and 3, but in live action.
Well, that's fine. I don't care. Those are good movies.
Man is just okay with mediocrity. He's just like, it's
look,
fine.
if it's peak and you make peak, if you just copy peak, that's fine.
I am looking. The thing I am looking forward to most about this, though, is getting to rewatch, having an excuse to rewatch How to Train Your Dragons 1, 2, and 3. Before this
and like if the performances are decent, then like cool, we have another cool, good version of the movie.
Pixar just pushed back Elio a week because of this, because they put out this new trailer and got scared.
Yeah, like I see this more kind of like like a Greek play, right? Like the cast changes out. But like as long as they're still good, like I don't care that I'm watching the same play again. Like
Sam, you would be a great like studio executive to do interviews. Just like you made the same movie again. You'll just be like, it's like Shakespeare, guys. You just don't get it.
Okay, but there are some movies where you can't do that because the original movie isn't as good.
I think that's
this is one of those. Yeah, but like this is one of those rare, like okay, like take the Avatar show for example. Mm-hmm. If they had literally frame for frame just exactly copied the cartoon, it would have been a better show for it.
They tried their best for the most part.
No, but then they did a bunch of weird random stuff and they did stuff out of order and they added stuff that didn't need to be there. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. If you just when it's something like this where the thing is so close to being perfect already, when you add stuff and you change stuff and you reorder the way the story is structured, anything like that, you make it worse. So if it's already almost perfect and all you're doing is like putting a different coat of paint on it, I don't mind that nearly as much as when you remake something and just make it worse. I would rather than remake it shot for shot than remake it and make it worse.
I will say
remake it and make it weird.
If this movie has two purposes, right? One is to advertise the new How to Train Your Dragon theme park land coming to Universal Studios. And two is to get people who refuse to watch the first How to Train Your Dragon movie because it's a cartoon to go see this new one because it's only half a cartoon. So if it can do both of those things, then in Universal's book, this is a success. And I know,
and then we might get a more creative spinoff.
And I know
that would be cool to see.
Several of the type of people who refuse to go see a movie because it's a cartoon, who will go see this because it's a half cartoon. So
yeah, so like I see this as a win.
I see this as an absolute win. You brought up that Avatar live action.
Any way you
show.
Slice it.
I completely forgot that existed. Was that last year? That was last year.
Or was it 2023?
No, I looked it up. It's last year. When's season 2 coming out?
Yeah, but like I would much rather
cancel my Netflix subscription.
I would have much rather them just literally shot for shot live action remade the cartoon than what they made.
They would have if they had more than 8 episodes. They 100% would have done that. It
would have cost runtimes are almost the same.
It would have cost $400 million, but they would have 100% done that.
The runtimes are like the same.
Well, no,
they just spent it more time doing nothing.
Didn't they say something like they wanted to change it because they wanted Sokka to be less
more serious,
sexist or whatever, and they wanted it to be more serious?
Well, no. They wanted it to be more serious and more dark and gritty because they felt like having a childish tone would cause too much tonal whiplash because you're seeing real characters suffering instead of cartoon ones suffering. And no, that's silly.
Except for the cartoon,
that's a silly, stupid,
feel
goofy
more
take.
real than the characters.
Goofy, dumb, bad take. Yeah.
No, well, they switched showrunners, so maybe it'll be good now.
Maybe they will shot for shot remake the second season. They would be wiser for doing so.
All right, Sam.
And I'm not necessarily saying that I want all of the live action remakes to just be shot for shot of the old things. I could absolutely see a different tone version of How to Train Your Dragon. There is a version of that works. I just don't think I think it's much more likely that they would screw that up than they would get it correct. And so I'd rather them I can trust them to shot for shot remake something. Yeah. I don't know if I can trust them to risks. Like do something original, you know?
You're thinking like an executive, Sam. You're doing good.
I'm thinking like what I trust the executives to be able to comprehend.
We got to do what's safe. What do they want? They want the same thing again. And I don't blame you for that because that's true.
Yeah.
That is largely what people want, is just the same thing again. All right.
Well, I'm not even saying what people want. I'm saying what I trust them to be able to make.
That's the only... Well, there have been maybe 2 or 3 good live-action remakes of animated films.
Yeah.
Cinderella? Jungle Book? Question mark?
Jungle Book was okay, but it was also basically just a shot-for-shot remake of the original movie with like some very slight tweaks.
Aladdin? Maybe?
And
Aladdin?
I don't think so.
Question mark?
No, you can't top Robin Williams.
That's true. It was Will Smith.
Yeah.
It was William Smith.
All right.
Anyway, Snow White's gonna do it. I have faith in that one.
Oh.
Sam, we got more fun stuff in our favorite cinematic property, the stuff that won't exist cinematic universe.
The stuff that won't exist cinematic universe. They announced some new projects.
Of course, they're on a roll recently. They are committed.
They've been announcing so many projects and the stuff that won't exist.
It's amazing all the stuff.
STW. Let me get a sticky note. Okay, wait.
It's amazing how much you can do when you're not working on anything at all. How much you can say you're doing.
The STWECU, the STWESU.
Can we call it the stew, even though that's not what it says?
No, it's the STWESU.
I think it'd be fun just to call it the stew, because that's what it is. It's just a big boiling pot.
That's not even remotely close to what the acronym is.
That's fine, Sam. None of this is remotely close to existing. So I feel like that's an apt metaphor.
Well, we could call it the stew if we take off the cinematic universe part.
All right, cool. Yeah.
Because then it's just STWE, which I guess you can pronounce as stew.
STWE. It's the stew.
It's not grammatically correct, but it's. I mean,
that's
you could
fine.
do it that way.
That's fine. It's the stew. It's just a big boiling pot of random stuff that tastes awful and is never gonna come off the stove.
Yeah. It's the stew.
Sam, you love Dungeons and Dragons.
I do like doing Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, do you like Dungeons and Dragons: The Forgotten Realms, which is a new a new live action series that's been ordered by Netflix?
I mean, the thing about Dungeons and Dragons is like you can do anything. So like,
this is based on the Forgotten Realms, which is, I believe,
the Forgotten Realms is the setting.
Yeah,
it's the setting that D&D 5e takes place in. Which is the 5th edition. So it's literally just Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. Like that's what that means. Like the Forgotten Realms is everything that is D&D 5e.
Drew Cravello, who did We Crashed on Apple TV Plus, will be the showrunner, head writer, executive producer.
Well, I don't know what that is, but it was on Apple TV Plus, so it's probably fine.
Yeah, I've heard it's good. It has Jared Leto in it. But
I've never heard of a thing being on Apple TV Plus and being like universally bad. Like I don't think I've ever heard a show on there that everyone was like, yeah, this show's bad.
I've seen movies on there that are god awful, but I've never seen a show.
Yeah, but like their shows seem to be consistently at least like decent.
Yeah. The series was gonna be at Paramount Plus, but there was a strategic shift, and then E1 got sold, and Hasbro Entertainment moved it to Netflix, which is smart because people will watch it now. Although Paramount Plus, as we learned when we talked about the streaming ratings from last year, a few weeks ago, more people are watching Paramount Plus than Disney Plus, HBO Max, Peacock. This is one of the big services.
10 times 0 is the exact same amount as 3 times 0.
That's true. You're on to something. But yeah, no, this is another live-action Dungeons and Dragons thing. Obviously, the last attempt at a live-action Dungeons and Dragons property was Honor Among Thieves, the movie, which came out in theaters 2 years ago and was a big bomb.
It was a good movie.
Good movie.
Fun movie. I liked it.
Good, fun movie. Recommended it to several people. Lost a lot of money. Lost so much money. Yep. No one saw that.
Took all my friends to see it. Everybody liked it.
Everyone liked that. I'm going to watch... I should watch that movie again. That's a good movie. They shouldn't have marketed the crap. Well, they should have. They tried their best. I don't really blame anyone for that. They made a good movie, and had a great cast, did a big marketing push, and just no one cared.
Like, that's the thing. Like, none of the D&D stuff that's got... I mean, I haven't seen the Secret Level episode, but none of the D&D stuff I've seen so far that they've made has been bad. Like Baldur's Gate 3 is incredible. That movie is good. Like, I'm talking about recent stuff. That movie is really good. And they haven't really made much else. So like as far as media they're making that is not just D&D the game, I mean, they're doing pretty well, like quality-wise.
But do you think there's an audience for this kind of show on Netflix? Obviously, every streaming service till the end of time, I guess, is just going to be trying to make some sort of live-action fantasy long-form drama series.
I mean, their biggest movie was Jane the Dragon or whatever.
Oh, that's true. That Millie Bobby Brown fights the dragon movie.
Yeah, so like, I mean, fantasy seems to be popping off over there.
Does Netflix have a big fantasy show? I guess they had...
Not that I know of.
Last Kingdom for a while, but that was never.
That's huge. Not really fantasy. That's like a historical fiction.
But I'm thinking like Knights and Swords and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I don't think not like a Game of Thrones or like a Wheel of Time type thing.
Prime Video's tried like 4 of them.
They have a couple.
Ones.
They had the
Wheel of Time, Lord of the Rings.
They had the
which just got picked up for another season. HBO's running
HBO has consistently
7 different
been doing
Game of Thrones spinoffs,
and they're all doing pretty good. Like,
I guess the closest
honestly,
thing.
It's
Disney
about
Plus
time
has.
Netflix joined the game, and D&D is honestly a pretty solid pick as far as popular fantasy stuff goes.
We'll find out. Well, you know what? It's right on its native home because the whole reason D&D had a resurgence was because of Stranger Things. So
yeah,
started on that.
And like, I guarantee you, D&D is bigger than the Song of Ice and Fire books were before that came out, and I promise you, they're bigger than the Wheel of Time books are now. So
that's true.
As far as like a pre-existing fan base that could help you make this work, D&D has a much larger audience.
I think this could actually come out, Sam. I think this has a very real possibility.
This one might get canceled. This one might get canceled, which means it would actually come out.
It's gonna get canceled after 1 season.
So it's not
gonna be watched by 40 million people. The stew is stuff that won't
exist. So if it ever ends up existing, it gets canceled from the stew, which means it does actually exist.
All right. Well, here's the thing that's so weird. It could also exist. Amazon Prime Video has ordered a new series titled Taylor Lautner Werewolf Hunter. This is from the independent studio who's partially responsible or is responsible for BoJack Horseman. It's a new scripted series with the following logline, and I'm going to read a lot of words, so strap in. After wrapping the final Twilight film, Taylor Lautner vanished from the spotlight. Fans speculated, tabloids theorized, but the truth is wilder than fiction. Taylor wasn't just taking a mental health break, he was preparing for his real calling. Taylor Lautner, werewolf hunter. Playing himself, Taylor is drawn into a secret society of werewolf trackers who need his unique expertise as he navigates his double life. Hollywood actor by day, supernatural warrior by night. Taylor must wrestle with the ultimate irony, fighting the very creatures that made him famous. Between saving the world, reviving his career, and falling in love, he faces the ultimate question. What happens when your biggest role becomes your greatest enemy?
And is this an animated series?
It wasn't clear. Maybe I'm gonna guess so. Because he's supposed to be the same age as he was when Twilight wrapped up, and that was like 12 years ago now. Or maybe this takes place way after.
Really, really dumb.
Odd premise, dumb idea, probably will work.
This might be the worst pitch idea I've ever heard.
It's like that's selling an internal conflict that doesn't exist.
Yeah, you're selling an internal conflict that doesn't exist, and it's based on a property that's been dead for 12 years.
Well, like, why would playing a werewolf like affect you hunting werewolves?
Whether you can hunt werewolves. Yeah, I don't. This is like silly.
I guess for a comedy series like you could probably do something with that. Where like,
but that's funny for maybe 20 minutes.
That's like maybe like that's like an SNL sketch. That's not like a full series. That's not.
This seems like an SNL sketch that like went way farther than it should have gone.
They had their 50th anniversary last night.
You know what? No, this seems like a premise for a single episode. This is a B plot from a BoJack Horseman episode.
Well, it's similar. It's made by some of those people. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a B plot from a BoJack Horseman episode where like he meets Taylor Lautner in rehab, and then he's like
werewolves.
trying to wrestle with like hunting werewolves and being a werewolf in a movie. Like, it's not a real conflict.
Straight to series. Someone will watch this.
All right. Well, this is a thing that is being made, I guess. I don't know what else to say about that.
Linda Cardellini is in talks to star as Pamela Voorhees in the Crystal Lake series for A24 and Peacock. This is
Okay.
This is the Friday the 13th prequel show. There has not been a new Friday the 13th movie in running on 16 years now. There was an ongoing lawsuit that lasted over a decade that stopped them from making new ones, and then they settled it. And then I believe 2 or 3 years ago, they announced that instead of a new movie, which would be the sensible thing to do, they're instead going to do an anthology prequel series, or maybe an anthology prequel series for Peacock with A24 involved.
Another bad idea.
And then they hired a bunch of writers and then wrote a bunch of scripts, and then they fired all the writers and threw out all the scripts, and then they hired a bunch of new writers and wrote a bunch of new scripts, and now maybe it'll get made.
This is dumb.
This is dumb. Why are they doing this? No one wants this. Just make another.
I'm not going to watch this.
No, you won't, but I will, because I hate myself and hate.
I don't even care about the regular Jason Voorhees
and you
content,
shouldn't.
Much less what his mom was doing.
They're schlock. They're all bad, except for maybe one of them. Like, in terms of very real movies, like they're all bad. They're dumb fun.
All right.
Anyway.
Oh, I heard about this one.
A sequel to the Goonies is officially moving forward at Warner Brothers. We talked about this being like an in development thing a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But is now officially happening at Warner Brothers. Patsy Ponsarelli of Still the King and Old Henry fame has been hired to pen the screenplay for the follow-up. Steven Spielberg, Chris Columbus, and Lauren Shuler Donner are expected to executive produce. It's been over 40 years since the original Goonies came out. That whole original cast is now in their mid-50s to early 60s or dead.
So it's like their kids, right?
It would have to be, right?
Now?
Set in modern times.
Yeah.
They can't get off their smartphones. They got to go on an adventure.
Yeah.
We call it Goonies.
This is also a very bad idea.
I mean, it's a bad idea in that, like, who wants this? And why?
Skeleton Crew did not make enough money to justify this.
Skeleton Crew was a massive failure. No one watched that. So,
and that's what I'm saying. That
I mean, the appeal
that
here,
genre of little kids go on adventure is like kind of dead.
The appeal here would be that it's got the Goonies title, and that it would presumably you'd get the whole original cast back. As like, look, they're old now. Look, it's Ke-Huy Quan, but he's 53.
But we have Stranger Things now.
That is true. But you know, I think that is also the whole reason that they were been so hell bent on making this happen.
Yeah, this
that
is
we
a
have
very
Stranger Things
bad
now.
idea.
I mean, Richard Donner, original director, dead. Chris Columbus, original screenwriter, not writing. Let's see, who could we get back here? So Sean Astin would do it.
Spielberg is alive,
but he's not gonna. He's executive producing, which means he'll throw his name on it, collect a check, and then not be involved. Josh Brolin probably come back, right? Corey Feldman, maybe. I don't think he works anymore, but I'm sure you could hand him money.
He might come back. Go hang with the boys one last time.
Is down to do literally anything.
He'll do anything.
Literally anything, which is weird because he could pick better. He could pick better stuff. Pretty much, I think the rest of the kids are all alive. Jeff Cohen is still around. Yeah, they're all just like doing nothing in their 50s. So I feel like they'll all come back.
They'd probably all do it. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know what you do with that. They find another pirate ship, I guess. Something mildly related to the first one.
They find an even secreter pirate ship. No. There was a pirate map in the ship that goes to the real treasure. And their house is still getting foreclosed on.
I don't even really particularly like the Goonies.
Me neither. It's not that good.
Never been a movie I've been in love with. It's not great.
Like we watched it. We even watched it when we were kids, and we were like, "This movie's
No,
boring.
this movie,
It's kind of
it's
sucks."
not even just kind of like, it's just kind of, it just kind of sucks. Like, it's not great.
Yeah, it's just not. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Even when I was a kid, I was like, "This makes absolutely no sense."
What are you talking about? You don't love Sloth?
So,
You put that
well,
on
no,
Sloth right now?
sloth is a whole separate issue.
Sloth the goat,
But
for real.
they go through this whole secret cave tunnel network, and then it turns out there's a well that just takes them like right to where, like in the middle of a publicly accessible park, that takes them like halfway through their whole adventure. So they could have just skipped all that. Why didn't?
I don't know.
Why didn't we start there?
Maybe that's where they'll start in this next one. It'll be 5 minutes long.
They're going through the same tunnel network.
That would be.
Didn't it get destroyed or
okay,
something?
here's what the Goonies sequel should be. Okay, wait 20 more years. No, 30 more years. They're all 80s, right? They're all in their 80s.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a nursing home together. They all have dementia. Okay, they're starting. They're starting to lose like grasp on reality, and they start to like think they found a treasure map.
And they're just like
in reality,
rolling around the old folks' home.
They've just escaped the old folks' home. And then like the villains,
I don't know if that project would get approved.
The villains that are coming after them are just like the orderlies, the
nurses.
And they're very concerned, but the Goonies are all out and around, and they're like,
that's awful.
they think they've found pirate treasure, but they're really just in
Not
like an
happening.
alleyway. That would be great.
Not
I would
happening.
watch the crap out of that, man. I love
All right,
that.
HBO stuff. What is happening on HBO, and does it actually belong in the stew? Let's find out.
Well, they gave some updates on some of their biggest properties. First off, being your favorite show, Euphoria, season 3.
Have seen Euphoria.
It's
The
been
first 2 seasons. Euphoria is not bad. Like I don't really have any big issues with Euphoria.
The Idol is.
I mean, The Idol's awful, horrible, and it makes me question how he even made Euphoria. But Euphoria is still pretty good.
It's been 3 years since season 2. I believe. It'll be another year before season 3 comes out. They've officially begun shooting after a very tumultuous pre-production schedule. A producer passed away. They had a cast member pass away. People left the show. They couldn't decide on a direction. There were rewrites.
Although the
Sam
cast
Levinson,
member who passed away, I believe, did die in the show before he passed away in real life.
Potentially, but who was it?
It was like
Klein, right?
Yeah, he played like the older brother drug dealer character guy.
Did Fez die on the show? Okay, well,
he got killed. I thought he got killed in like a drive-by, I believe, in like the last couple episodes.
I have not seen Euphoria.
It's been a very long time since I've seen the show, but I believe that character died. I could be wrong, though.
But so a couple more people left the show. They couldn't figure out, there was going to be a time jump, but they couldn't figure out what the characters were going to be doing. However, they have officially started rolling cameras. They released a still of Zendaya with her head turned slightly to the left as the first official image of the season. She is also insanely busy. We talked in the Captain America review about Tom Holland's upcoming schedule.
Yeah, they're equally crazy schedules.
But she is also in the Odyssey and Spider-Man 4 and this, and then presumably you'd think she'd maybe pop up for like a scene in one of the Avengers movies.
She's also going to be in Dune, I assume, whenever that
Oh, yeah,
filming.
Dune's got to start shooting soon, and then this is 8 whole episodes, and she's in every single one.
Probably.
Yeah. Busy lady.
Busy.
It is likely that this will be the final season, which I feel like everyone expected because
I was surprised this even got made at all.
I think it was kind of a miracle that this even started shooting.
It was in development hell for like forever.
There's going to be a big time jump. A bunch of previous characters aren't going to come back. The returning actors are Zendaya, Hunter Schafer, Eric Dane, Jacob Elordi, Sydney Sweeney, Alexa Demi, Dominic Fike, and Maud Apatow. Coleman Domingo's going to return in a guest role. Barbie Ferreira, who plays Kat, Storm Reed, who plays Gia, Nika King, who played Rue's mom, Algie Smith, who plays Chris, and Austin Abrams, who plays Ethan, They're all not coming back for the new season.
I don't remember any of these characters.
I don't know who these characters are.
Oh no, G is the younger sister.
Mm-hmm.
So
Rue's family will not be in the new season.
Yeah, that's.
But they're not going to be in high school anymore. I think it's going to be like 6
jump.
years later.
We could have time jump where like she moved out and doesn't talk to them anymore.
think that's what we're looking at because I think it's supposed to be a pretty sizable time jump. I mean, these people are all in their 30s.
I don't remember who Kat is.
Kat was the fat one.
Right, and she's skinny now also. Who's Chris? Was he the boyfriend guy?
Maybe. Potentially, I don't know.
Or was Austin Abrams the boyfriend guy?
Doesn't matter. They're not coming back.
Well, I mean, if they're like important. Well, hang on. Let me look up this guy.
It appears all of the main characters played by the most famous people are all coming back.
Okay, so the like little loser boyfriend guy isn't coming back, but neither is Kat, and that was like they were the only characters that like mattered for that story. So he's not coming back, and then I don't know who Algie Smith is. That's a crazy name though. Oh, he was I think he was like Sydney Sweeney's boyfriend like at the beginning of the show, the black guy.
Sydney Sweeney.
I don't even remember I don't think he was in. I don't remember what he was doing in the second season. His story arc kind of was over, I believe. I don't remember. It's been a very, very long time since I've seen this show.
It's been 3 years since the second season finished.
This is a show that I talked about with like the original people who work at the restaurant group. Like a long time ago, we all watched this show. Like I'm none of them still.
This show started airing in 2019, in June of 2019.
Yeah,
this is a 6-year-old show on its 3rd season.
Weird. All right, Game of Thrones.
Universe stuff. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is the Dunk and Egg spinoff show. Network.
This one looks really good.
Are apparently
all
very
the trailers
pleased
and stuff
with
really
it.
Good.
All 6 episodes have been shot. I think it's supposed to come out this summer. They're saying an early season 2 renewal is very likely. The plan is for 3 seasons, each one being 6 episodes long, so 18 total episodes for Dunk and Egg. House of the Dragon season 3, I believe, is gearing up to start shooting soon. That's supposed to be out next year. It's going to kick off with the Battle of the Gullet, which is a major battle from the Game of Thrones universe history. It was supposed to be at the end of season.
War was like 3 years long.
It's supposed to be at the end of season 2, but they pushed it because of the strikes or delays or something. The season got cut short 2 episodes, and they moved that story arc to the beginning of season 3, which I believe is season 3 supposed to be the last season, or season 4 supposed to be the last season. Do you know?
I believe it is supposed to be 3 seasons, but I could be wrong.
And I believe they'll also go back to 10 episodes next year.
Yeah, that makes sense because there's a lot of stuff that happens in this one battle.
So I have been very, very slowly working my way through Game of Thrones at a true snail's pace.
Mm-hmm.
How on earth did they crank out 10 episodes of that show on a yearly basis with that cast and that many characters and that scope and scale and it being that good? And yet it takes like some of these shows crank out like 7 episodes every 3 years.
It really doesn't make sense.
I don't get it at all. I don't understand how we got to this point.
Did we like lose the technology? Like I don't get it. Like what happened?
I get to some extent how VFX, like there's so like all these shows and movies now are so VFX heavy. There's probably just like not enough VFX people all the time to like be working on it.
Like they would like more eventually the market would correct and there would be more VFX people.
But you'd think with like the money they're spending on it, right? And how still most of these shows are just people in rooms talking to each other. That they could
especially for this one.
Get them out every year. I don't understand how this happened. And every time like a showrunner or something is asked about it, they're just like, well, these things, they just take so long to write and shoot and make. It's just,
I didn't used to.
It's always been this way. It's like, no,
what happened?
No, it never was like this. What are you talking about? They got
also
22
most of
episodes
the
out of
cast
NCIS
of Game of
every year.
Thrones was not super famous before Game of Thrones happened.
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, Sean Bean
It was
the
really
biggest
just
name.
Peter Dinklage was really the only big one, and yeah, Sean, and he died. Spoilers, I guess he dies in like the first couple episodes.
Season 2, yeah, he's only in the first.
Yeah,
season. Their names obviously got bigger as the show went on, but I mean that show, its longest gap was between the 7th and 8th season. That took 2 years, and they only produced 6 episodes, but each one of those was like an hour and a half long. So,
and I think that was COVID related.
Well, no, that was 2019, so that was before.
Oh, okay.
I think that was the one that was affected by
the Star Wars thing.
The book's not done, and now the cast is starting to get other work, and it's shooting schedules.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then they're also the HBO executive who was doing this interview was teasing another Game of Thrones spinoff show in the works, which will apparently also follow the Targaryen family line. You want more Targaryens running around, Sam? More white-haired dragon
that one
people?
That one is Aegon's Conquest. So that one is the actual. You hear, I don't know what part of Game of Thrones you're on, but you hear about Aegon the Conqueror a lot, because is
he the Mad King?
No. That was I don't remember his name, but Aegon the Conqueror is the one who took over Westeros.
Mm.
They use Aegon's conquering of Westeros as their like ACBD, right?
Okay.
Or BCAD. Like that's their version of that. Is like before Aegon's conquering and after Aegon's conquering. So this is there is a lot of interesting stuff you could do with this show. And there's a lot of very cool history in that part of the universe.
Well, whatever distracts George R.R. Martin from working on the books and not anything else. More
there's like an island of like
day.
Giant monsters in Game of Thrones, and it just like never comes up.
Oh, I'm sure it will, Sam. I'm sure we'll get 3 seasons of the giant
in the books,
Monster
there's
Island
nothing
show.
in the books. They never go there in the books either. It's just like part of the lore.
Well, great.
And it doesn't affect anything.
Sam, you know what I hear? When I turn on Studio Executive Brain, you know what that tells me? We can litter that Monster Island with crossovers of other famous IP, because it's not specifically outlined in any of the novels that those people aren't there. I'm talking we put Sauron on that island. I'm talking the Jokers on that island, okay?
I don't know if that doesn't really make any sense.
Let's put some Daleks from Doctor Who on this island.
That's actually the Fortnite Island. That's what that is.
That's Fortnite Island. Let's throw some
Fortnite is part of
Game of Thrones characters aren't in Fortnite.
Yet.
It doesn't make sense for them to be there, but
But it doesn't make sense for most of the characters that are there.
Let's give Arya Stark a gun, a regular gun.
Why not? Jon Snow can be there.
Jon Snow can have a gun.
Why not?
Let's do it.
Anyone can be there.
Anyone can be there and have a gun.
And his pickaxe will be White Claw.
Of course.
This makes perfect sense to me. Or Long Claw. Is it Long Claw or White? I think it's Long Claw. White Claw's a drink.
That'd be funny if you had a White Claw. Other stuff. True Detective Season 4. They just started the writing on that. It's going to be set in Jamaica Island, New York. The showrunner from
no idea what True Detective is, and I don't.
Night Country is coming back for this one. It's supposed to come out in 2027. John Lithgow has entered final negotiations to play Dumbledore in the live-action Harry Potter series, which is supposed to go on for like 8 years on HBO.
Okay.
I will say, bold strategy to hire a 80-year-old man for a show that's supposed to last 8 years. When they made the movies in the early 2000s and they cast Dumbledore, I believe he died by the 3rd movie in real life. So
what we have
Godspeed and bless you, John Lithgow, but
what they didn't have when they made the original Harry Potter was virtual necromancy. So we can use the magic AI spell to resurrect him.
Do you think in the
and
show
keep him playing forever?
Do you think they'll say that in the show? Like, oh, he put a spell on himself. That's why he sounds like a computer and doesn't emote anymore.
That's why he looks a little weird.
That's why he looks so weird.
That's why his face keeps melting just a little bit every time he turns to the left.
I love John Lithgow, but come on, guys. He's 80.
I don't know
80 years
what
old.
he looks like.
Anyway, and then The Last of Us.
Oh, he's very old.
The Last of Us TV series Season 2 is obviously supposed to start in April. They're believing, the creatives have said apparently that they are going to divide The Last of Us Part 2, the video game, into not 1, not 2, but 3 seasons of television. They're saying 4 total seasons of HBO's The Last of Us, presumably 7 episodes a season. So 9 episodes for the first game, 21 for the second game.
Why? There's not that much
to stretch it out. There's no reason other than to stretch it out, unless they're going to add a considerable amount of stuff to it, which I feel is a possibility. Do you think it's possible they just straight up just start doing stuff that takes place after The Last of Us 2 in this show? And
that's what they should do. Why wouldn't you do that? That makes way more sense than stretching the second game out to 3 seasons of a TV show.
Unless the seasons just get progressively shorter. Like this first season's 7, the next one's like 4, and then the third one's like 2. But then
why not just make 3 seasons then? Like that's getting silly.
I don't know.
You're being silly.
Doesn't matter for. I mean, that's a lot more Pedro Pascal, Sam. That's a lot more Joel, right? You excited to see Joel in all 4 seasons?
At least. Oh yeah, he'll be there for the whole
all 4, every run. He'll never go
That's
away.
What they say about Joel. He's old Joel is always
Joel's
there.
always
never
there.
Gone.
Never goes away.
They say that about him all the time.
And he loves golfing. Sam.
All right, let's.
We didn't
look at these 100 top 100 actors ever.
We missed the State of Play recap.
Oh, right.
These happen.
We're going back a little bit. We missed it, just like you did, because all of you also missed it, because it barely happened.
They don't matter at all.
It was actually planned. We didn't just accidentally skip this when we read our docket. That was actually, it's meant to be a metaphor for the State of Play itself.
We're professionals.
We think it out. We're professional.
Mm-hmm. Sam.
All right, Metal Gear. All right. Yeah, State of Play. This is all the stuff they said. We got Metal Gear Solid Delta. This was already announced. We just got a release date. Borderlands 4, again, already announced. We just got a release date. Days Gone Remastered. Yep, that already exists. This is just another of the same game. But the only new thing is a Digimon game.
Yay! Digimon! I think there was some other garbage, but who cares?
Yeah, so is this the most nothing gaming announcement event of all time?
Let's see, Borderlands.
I think even Xbox announced more games than this at
what
their
about
last event.
Darwin's Paradox, a new puzzle platformer?
That's not a real thing.
Squid.
That game is not real. That's not a real game.
There's Dave the Diver 2 or a spinoff.
That's already on. Wait, there's a sequel now?
It might be DLC. It's DLC.
Ah.
Ichiban's Holiday. It looks like it's a Yakuza crossover.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Interesting. The Yakuza franchise just seems to be absolutely killing it. They seem to be releasing like 8 out of 10 games every other month.
Yeah, and I've this Like a Dragon thing. I just see everywhere. I don't understand what that is.
I've never heard a negative thing about it. But they release one like every month. I don't like what is going. Are they on crack? What are they doing over? Have you seen Donkey's like a Dragon videos?
Yeah, I think I have.
Where like he's doing a side quest where you collect random citizens around the city and use them as Pokemon, and that's like a random one-off side quest.
Series, so...
Like these games seem completely insane.
Oh my gosh, there's so many spin-offs. What is this? Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying, and like apparently they're like all good games.
There was a Japanese movie. There was a TV show on Amazon Prime. There was a stage play. This has got to be just humongous in Japan, right?
Every single Japanese franchise ever has a stage play.
Okay.
You know Nier Automata?
Yeah.
There are 2 stage plays for that one.
Well, you know what else needs a stage play? Is Five Nights at Freddy's.
Naruto, which also has a stage play.
Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic is launching in June.
What is that?
That's the new Five Nights at Freddy's. Remember that?
Is it a game or a show or a movie?
It is a game, but there's also a new FNAF movie coming this year. So big year for FNAF.
I'm not keeping up with
people
FNAF
still
anymore.
Play that? That's still happening?
They played Security Breach.
There's so many of these games now, Sam. They made a race. Is that a racing game? 5 Laps at Freddy's. Coming in 2025.
Sounds...
Into the Pit.
Interesting.
They've started adapting the novels into games. I don't understand this property. I don't get it. It's gotten too confusing. What happened to kids' ghosts haunting robots?
Kid ghost robot kill guy
and doing murder.
That's it. Didn't need to be more complicated than that.
It was so simple. All right, anyway,
let's talk about the 100 best TV shows.
Variety has put out a definitive list, according to them, of the 100 best TV performances of the 21st century. Is this in any way relevant?
9 people wrote this article.
Or generate conversation? No, but we have nothing else to talk about. So you know what? Why the heck not? Let's go.
All right. So number 100, we have Jeremy Allen White.
We're gonna go to 100. That's pretty low.
Yeah, that seems too low. I don't know who this person is. I'm going to skip the ones I don't know.
They have put him below...
Brett Goldstein is Roy.
They've put him below Roy Kent from Ted Lasso.
I'm sorry, I love Ted Lasso, but Roy, that doesn't make sense. No. Justin, I don't know who this is. I don't care.
A lot of guys
I don't know what this is. I'm skipping you.
Search Party, Miss
I'm
America.
skipping Gilmore Girls. I haven't seen it.
Station.
I haven't seen What We Do in the Shadows.
Christine Milioti from How I Met Your Mother, number 90. Kind of crazy spot considering she's in 1 season of that 9-season show.
The mom from Everybody Hates Chris. Okay, I could see that one. I haven't seen Everybody Hates Chris, but I've seen clips of her. Like, that makes sense that she'd be up here.
Let's look at just like the top 10.
Ozark, I haven't seen.
Let's just look at that.
I don't know. I don't know. Stellan Skarsgård for Luther Rell in Andor.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Sweet. Okay. Cool. Based. He should be higher, but I don't expect anyone to know that.
Could you put him above number 15, Elizabeth Jennings, played by Kerry Russell in The Americans on FX?
I don't know what that even is.
What about Michael Chiklis as Vic Mackey from The Shield on FX? Who's at number 14?
I don't know what that is either.
What about Regina King as Angela Abar, aka Sister Knight from the Watchmen HBO series in 2000?
What are you even reading?
I'm reading the top. I'm at the top. I'm at number 12. Number 12, Steve Carell, Michael Scott from The Office.
That's too high.
You think that's too high? That's probably a hot take, Sam. What do you have against Steve Carell?
Nothing, but like The Office is just the most overrated TV show of all time. Like he's not like it's not that good.
That's something we can
discuss. Good.
What is the most overrated TV show of all time?
It has to be The Office. Like it nothing even comes close to like mediocre quality with its like extremely crazy dedicated fan base. Like nothing else even comes close.
Yes, the fan base for that show is insane. And like the mythos around it is absurd. As comfort food TV goes, you really don't get better at that than The Office.
For sure, but it's
the most
food.
like
it's
eating a piece of white bread of all time.
Yeah, like there's nothing wrong. Like I mean, there is some issues with The Office, obviously, but like it's a solid show. I don't have a lot of negative things to say about it, but it's like the default TV show.
I mean, Steve Carell got no flavor. Is so good in that show that it literally fell apart the second he left. Like he was carrying that whole operation. I do think that has to say something.
That still seems like of all time, though, in the top 10 of all time.
Oh, this isn't all time. This is just the 21st century.
Oh, okay.
So this would be like, I guess, post 2000.
Sweeney, okay.
Sydney Sweeney's on this list.
She's number 30.
She's number 30
for Euphoria.
That's what?
You still haven't seen Euphoria, right?
No one from Euphoria should be that high.
Okay, Tucker, you need to watch Euphoria.
Nah.
Euphoria is like a good show, very good show.
I don't believe you.
No, it's like Ted Lasso. It's like that's the level of good it's at.
There's no way.
But it's like it's dark.
She's
it's not
considerably better than. I'm looking for another.
Lucille Bluth is based.
That is based. I 100% agree with that. She's amazing in that show. Arrested. God, those first.
The Shield is not a show. What is going on?
The first 3 seasons of Arrested Development might be the funniest TV show ever made. It's that good. I don't know about
that.
It's amazing. Like those first 3 seasons.
For me, it's like it's on the same level as like Community.
I think even Community took longer to get going. Like I feel like Arrested Development was just hitting home runs like the first episode.
They got going faster, but like I think those 2 shows are like equally good.
I mean, Community was more consistent, which is an interesting thing to say about a wildly inconsistent show.
Yeah, but like the 4th season of Arrested Development was just so bad.
4 and 5 are awful. Like they're unwatchable. Like at least Community, like 4 is bad, but 5 and 6
even the
at least
seasons are still pretty good. They're like, just bad compared to the other seasons.
1, 2, 3 are great. 4 is a big downgrade, but then 5 and 6 were at least like solid seasons of that show, as in comparison to Arrested Development, where it just got worse every episode.
Yeah.
Sandra Oh from Grey's Anatomy, number 10.
Okay, Captain Raymond Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's based.
Where is he at? Number 8.
He's number 8.
That's pretty good.
He's really funny in that show. He's really, really good in that show. I haven't seen Leftovers. I don't know what that is.
I've heard that's amazing though, and same with The Wire. I've never seen
Everyone talks about The Wire, but I don't think anyone's actually watched it.
I have met several people who've seen The Wire, and they still do nothing but glaze that show, and I'm sure it's amazing. I will watch it when I'm old and have time. But
okay, Walter White is number 5.
I feel like you just have to. This is like obligatory.
You gotta put him there. Yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised he's not higher.
Okay. Lisa Kudrow in the comeback of HBO series from 2005. This seems like the most like one person on the writing staff probably just really loves this show. And just was like, I need this to be at number 4 very badly.
I don't even know what this is.
I don't even know what the comeback series. Is. First season aired in 2005. Season 2 aired in 2014.
Was she better
9
than
years later?
Walter White? Like, that seems crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
It seems crazy that someone from a show I've never heard of is going to be outdoing Walter White. Like, I don't doubt that it's possible. It's just, I feel like I would have heard about it.
Well, what about Elizabeth Moss as Peggy Olsen in Mad Men?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
You've heard of Mad Men, though.
I've heard of Mad Men. I just don't know what it's about or who this person is.
Okay, it's about advertising executives in the 50s.
Okay.
Jeremy
Succession,
Strong.
Okay,
from Succession.
Sure.
That feels pretty.
Everyone talks.
That feels pretty like recent.
That even is Veep. No, this list is.
Yeah,
stupid.
They got Julia Louis-Dreyfus as
no.
Veep at number
Sorry,
1.
no.
What do you have against Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
Nothing. It's just this list is.
Did you not see her? Did you not see her SNL
list.
bit on yesterday?
I did not. I've only seen like some clips on Twitter.
I watched all 3.5 hours of that show.
It was 3 hours long?
It was over 3 hours long.
That's crazy.
It was.
Okay, you know what? I think Walter White should have been higher, actually.
Well, yeah, if you're going to put these people in front.
Like, I think he should be number 1. Like, relative to the top 10, he's the best one.
Maybe?
I mean, which one's...
All this list does is make me go, I have not seen a lot of TV. There's too much TV. Like, who on earth has seen all of these shows? Like, genuinely.
I don't know. Because, like, Succession, I don't care.
I will probably watch
Veep, I just heard about last week. I just heard about that show.
How have you managed to get this far and are just now hearing about Veep?
I don't know. Someone told me to watch it, like, after improv last week.
I don't know how
the first time I heard about it.
How did you get through all of election season without seeing a clip of Veep somewhere? That's genuinely impressive.
I didn't even know what it was.
All everyone was doing for this whole election cycle was being like, Kamala Harris is like the main character in Veep. Like, that was what everyone was doing online. How did you
I've never heard of Veep.
That's kind of impressive.
Let's go down a little bit. I don't know who you are. Okay, Michael Scott. Yep. I don't know who you. I don't know who so many of these people are.
Know who these shows are. I know what these shows are.
But I feel like I should know. Like, okay, Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Sure. I would argue he's not even the best character from Game of Thrones, though.
Performance, though.
Same thing. I would argue he's fantastic.
Because I feel like he is generally considered to be like the standout from that cast.
I mean, he's fantastic, but like I mean, Lord Varys has a lot of. I'm not sure what the actor's name is, but all his scenes are just as good, I would say, as Tyrion's. Like, what's it? The guy who plays Daenerys's like right-hand man.
Oh,
also like
Ian Glenn.
Yeah, all his scenes. I would say he's up there too.
I mean, he's good. I don't know if I would put him in any sort of tier above anyone else.
I'm not saying he's better, but like I would put him equal. I think. Like I found his character to be very interesting. I really liked his character a lot.
Danny Pudi made it as Abed Nadir for number 57.
That's cool. I like that. Honestly, though, I'm surprised there's not like more from that. I'm surprised. Okay, I'm surprised out of all the characters from Euphoria, it was Sydney Sweeney that made it up here.
I mean, I guess this was the show that made her a thing.
True. But as far as like the main cast goes, she's like not super. She's not really any better than any of the main cast. Like she's not terrible.
Yeah.
She's fantastic in that show, but that cast is phenomenal.
I don't know. I think from what I've seen, she has a real like fun being a word in quotes, but like fun part on that show as in like she gets to play a lot of like manic kind of emotions and like ups and downs.
Not really. She only really goes manic like once.
Kaylin Olsen,
she's dating her best friend's ex.
Made it as Deandra Reynolds at number 67, the only It's Always Sunny cast member on the list.
Jane the Virgin is on here?
She beat out David Harbour from Stranger Things, number 68.
Hang on, is The Flash on here?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say The Flash is not on here.
Okay, but I will argue Barry Allen from The Flash is way better than Jane the Virgin from Jane the Virgin.
I would honestly, I haven't seen a second of Jane the Virgin in my entire life, but I would say I would need evidence to.
You don't think early Flash is better than Jane the Virgin?
Listen, man, I got nothing against Grant Gustin. I respect the man for doing 9 seasons of that awful show.
He's the best live action Flash.
He's not an amazing actor.
But he's the best live action Flash. I'm surprised Homelander is this low.
Where's he at?
71.
That is really low. Come on.
He's under Ty Burrell from Modern Family.
Okay, Ty Burrell is really good on Modern Family, but I don't know if Homelander deserves to be that low. I'd say he's better than
Jim Hopper from Stranger Things.
He's better than Elizabeth Olsen in WandaVision, who's at 64.
Deandra Reynolds is at 67. Dude, this list is.
They have
whack.
Janelle James as Ava Coleman from Abbott Elementary above both of those people.
Elizabeth Olsen from WandaVision?
That's what I just said, man. That's barely even like. She's not even from TV. She was in like 7 movies before that, and that show is like mediocre at best.
And her performance is like, I mean, again, like a lot of this is like, she's not bad in that show, but like
she's rather good.
I wouldn't think of her in my like top 100 best performances I've ever seen. Like, not in that show, at least.
Honestly, the true number one is definitely
Glenn
Howerton.
Jeanette
as
James
Dennis.
from Abbott Elementary is higher than Homelander.
Yes, apparently.
Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about right
now?
This
list is pretty. Also, there's only one actor from The Bear on this list, and
he's way too criminally low.
He's very low, and he's not the best actor on that show. I would say Ibn Bacharach, who plays
the girl from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, is higher than Jeremy Allen White from The Bear.
Yes, apparently.
By like 40 places.
And again, Jeremy Allen White is the only Bear performer on this list, and he is not the best actor on that show, or gives the best performance.
I would actually argue basically
he's
anyone
maybe
from
third
The Bear,
or fourth.
I would argue anyone from The Bear is going to be higher than most of the people on this list.
Yeah. Anyway, dumb list written by morons. How stupid of them. this obvious clickbait that was meant only to make people upset, and they don't genuinely believe
Mary McDonald from Battlestar Galactica is here. I'm just surprised that
Did
was
anyone
even,
from Star Trek make it
here.
in? Let's look it up.
Let's find out.
No Star Trek. Any Star Wars?
Nope. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
we had
Stellan
Andor.
Skarsgård. He is really good in that show.
That's
Just
so
one
cool that he
speech
made it on this
alone,
list.
God, that's a good. I'm looking forward to more Andor. If only they'd run a marketing campaign for that show that no one is gonna watch. Do you know that comes out in like a month and a half?
What does the new Andor season?
Of Andor? Yeah.
They
maybe
have not even made a trailer. That
no,
sucks.
they haven't. They have not even made a trailer for that show.
Ooh, what is Pose?
Pose was about dancers, and I think it was
Is it Pose or Posse?
I think it's Pose. Yeah. It's about New York City's ball culture and LGBTQ subculture in the African American and Latino communities. Does that sound like something you would watch? It was on FX.
I didn't even hear what you were saying. Oh, the guy from The Good Place is on here.
Ted Danson?
William Jackson Harper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Chidi.
Okay.
That's based. He's really good on that show. I'll take it.
Every time I see a list,
I feel like 47 is a good place for that. Like that wouldn't make sense.
Good job, Variety. You got one right. I will say every time I see a list of like greatest TV,
Anna Swy from Shogun is on here.
49. I think that's more recency bias, personally.
That show's really, really good.
That show is good, but it's not revolutionary.
I don't know that she's the best. No, I think she is. She might be the best
on that show. I think so. Yeah. I would say
she was definitely the most interesting character on that show, in my opinion.
Yeah. The guy who plays like
John Blackthorne,
the one who's constantly trying to double cross everyone and like is like kind of an idiot. He's like Hiroyuki Sanada's like right hand man. He's like his general.
Oh yeah.
He's pretty good.
I like that guy.
But
he's fun.
No,
I like how he always tries to double cross people and then he just doesn't because he's like really.
I love how the end of the season is he dies and that's just how the season ends.
Yeah.
No,
the main guy's like, yeah, your plans were terrible the whole time. And now you're dying, and he's like, oh, yeah, fair enough, and he dies. That's just an awesome way for that character to go out. He's like, oh, you got me. I suck.
I don't know. It feels like this list is more obsessed with just like putting one actor from every single major TV show that's aired over the past 20 years on here, and less trying to like put the actual best performances that they could find.
Yeah, because I don't think there's any that are multiple. Maybe they had a rule that you could only have one per each show.
Yeah, I mean, because like realistically, where is Bob Odenkirk? As Saul Goodman?
Or like any of the other characters from Breaking Bad, or any of the other people from The Bear, or I could keep going.
Or Game of Thrones, yeah.
Or Game of Thrones, or
Succession, probably.
So many shows.
Didn't Kieran Culkin win like several Emmys?
I would say Arya Stark is probably about as good, if not maybe sometimes better than Tyrion. Especially considering how old she was when she started.
I am willing to hear out that argument.
Because her character gets more interesting as the show goes on up until like season 7, and then her character kind of stays the same.
But isn't that everyone's character? They all get very interesting until the show falls off a cliff because the writers got distracted doing cocaine.
Her character specifically just kind of has a hard stop, and just like nothing happens with her after a certain point.
There was no more books. What do we do? What do you want me to do?
There's a big fight.
Make up materials. Okay. Well, that was fun.
It's a good, interesting discussion piece.
Sam, do you have any more news to bring to the table? Did you bring any news?
Just Invincible, season 3, episode 4.
Yes.
I had that on here because that came out.
What happened?
Okay.
This was the Alan the Alien.
The animation. Yeah. Half of it was Alan the Alien stuff, but the animation for the first like 10 minutes of this episode, I think is some of the worst animation I've seen in a big budget show ever.
Okay.
It's worse than Teen Titans Go.
I'm going to be fair to the Invincible people. I have stopped caring All I do...
They were shopping for buckets of big polygonal CGI fruit.
And you know
they
what?
They couldn't even pick a model that looks kind of like a real fruit. It's like a big, jagged orange chunk.
That's fine. That is fine. I don't care.
That looks so bad.
I don't care.
Me so
Listen,
far out of the show.
No, is there an excuse for why it doesn't look very good? No. Does everyone constantly complain about it all the time to the point where I'm just kind of annoyed of hearing about it and would rather people just talk about what happens in the actual show itself? Yes.
But it's hard to focus on the show when it looks really bad.
Maybe it's just because I've seen a lot of crappy animation in my life.
When, though? Like, when has it been worse
I would say the quality of the animation in this show is pretty much the same as all of those direct-to-video DC animated movies from the 2010s.
I disagree.
And
I think
art style-wise is almost identical, so it's pretty much the same thing as that.
I think most of those movies look a lot better. They're at least on model more often.
Rose-colored glasses, because if you go back, it's pretty much the same. No, okay.
Oh, no.
It should be better. Amazon has the resources to make it better, but I'm fairly certain that they don't put a lot of money into this show because it's animated and for adults. So, and they spend all of their money on that absurdly famous voice cast.
Even the other seasons didn't seem to have this drastic of a quality.
I think they definitely did
in a single episode.
I think they definitely did, and people just forget because they don't go back and watch those shows, and because the gaps are so big in between.
I rewatched it like a couple months ago.
I don't know. I genuinely I get it. It's not always super fluid. There's not a lot of detail in the backgrounds or in any of.
I don't even mind. I don't mind
designs.
that. Like, as long as it's just I just want it to be decent enough. Like, just meet at least hit Teen Titans Go. That should be the bare minimum. Be at least as good to look at as Teen Titans, because they make 80 episodes of that show every month.
I don't think it's that bad. I get it. People are annoyed, but it's fine.
It was really just that grocery scene that was oh my god, this is actually hard to look at. This is just so bad.
I think it's fine.
Were you watching it on a TV or on your phone?
Yeah, I was watching it on a TV.
I don't know, man. It was pretty rough.
I'm just at the point where it's even if it does kind of it's noticeable or very noticeable for a few minutes, I get into the show itself and I just kind of stop looking for it.
The story is this is probably one of the coolest episodes of the show we've gotten.
It just bothers me because the writing in this show is so good, and the pacing is so good, and it's an amazing show. And I think people are just complaining about the animation all the time, and I'm like, okay, but the story is incredibly engaging. It's got great cliffhangers every week. All of the character dynamics are for the most part very well written. It's always very satisfying whenever there's a big payoff for anything.
Yeah.
It's got great action sequences.
I have nothing negative to say about the show itself. On every other aspect, it's been extremely good.
Yeah.
I don't understand then why they let it be that way. But moving past that, I thought all the stuff with, I guess, slight spoiler, they're very much spoilers if you have not caught up with Invincible. But all the stuff with the Immortal was really cool. I thought that was really cool stuff. And we got some interesting foreshadowing of stuff that's going to happen.
Or could happen.
In the future. Yeah,
maybe.
Might happen. Will probably happen in some form.
But not on the show.
But with Mark's illness or whatever that was. Yeah. Whatever he's got going on in the future there. I thought that was really cool.
No, I thought this was another great episode. I enjoyed the Invincible half and the Alan the Alien half. I think and I think people have talked about this before. The comic is a lot funnier than the show is. The show starts off, you get 2 episodes of happy-go-lucky superhero stuff, and then it gets into violent and sad. This show has generally been more violent and sad than happy-go-lucky superhero stuff. It kind of relies on just a couple characters to keep it light. So I always enjoy the alien stuff because that feels more just like we're having a good time and there's a lot of guts flying around, but it's pretty fun.
I do have,
but I like the Mark
question.
stuff still too a lot.
How did Machine Head get that lion dude to work for him?
I think he was just like, hey, if you help me out, you could fight some pretty strong dudes.
But like, why was he even on Earth?
What's his name? Beastmaster? What's his name?
Lion guy.
He's
Lion.
Conquest
guy.
is a different guy.
He's just the lion. He's a lion guy.
Yeah, lion guy.
What does it matter? He's only in 2 seasons.
I'm trying to remember his name. He was cool. I liked him.
He's a cool character. I like his character.
I like how he got into a fight with a Viltrumite, and they were just hitting each other in the cold, dark vacuum of space, and then they just lost track of him and left because they didn't know where they went.
I also liked how when they introduced him and Alan like ripped up the door, he's like he doesn't ask will there be a Viltrumite there? He says, will there be Viltrumites? Like, this dude's ready to fight multiple Viltrumites at once. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, no. I like that character a lot.
And the reveal of there only being 50 like pure-blooded Viltrumites left. I don't really understand how that happened, but sure.
I think they do explain it in the comic. I think it's something where they have been spreading out.
I'm sure they'll explain it later.
I believe that their homeworld is gone and that they have been spreading out so far around the galaxy that like they've diluted their bloodline so much that there's only a few full-blooded ones left.
But I'm saying like they take forever to age. Like, what are they dying? Are they dying of? They're not dying of age.
I think they are just dying,
and they're probably not getting killed by a lot of stuff because they seem to be kind of more or less.
Well, I think there haven't been a lot around for like a very long time. Because I think their homeworld was destroyed like a long time ago, and they've just been flying around the universe.
I guess, but then like also, why would they dispatch?
I know they explained it. I just don't remember why.
Yeah, like Nolan being sent to Earth seems like, why would you bother?
Well, because it's just to conquer the planet.
Yeah, I get, but like, why would you send one of your like pure-blooded guys to Earth when like you could send realistically?
Well, because they wanted
one of the bug ones
to breed with the humans, because the humans were physiologically
like very compatible, I guess. But they didn't even know that because Marx didn't get his powers delayed. Anyway, that's not important.
Also, another thing I liked that this is a superhero thing with a romantic subplot in it. They don't do that ever anymore in anything. Every studio is allergic to it. I don't know why, but I like that this has
Spider-Man. This is really.
But even like the new Spider-Man cartoon show, no MJ, no Gwen Stacy, no nothing.
Well, okay. To be fair, that was originally supposed to be an MCU thing, so I understand why it is kneecapped as to what they can do with his.
But they changed everything else. Life. They had time. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing has they've cut that out of all of these, so it's nice to have another one again, especially when those characters have such good chemistry.
I can't think of like cartoon. There were like some romantic subplots in like Earth's Mightiest Heroes, but that's
Spectacular Spider-Man had them. Batman the Animated Series. Batman always had Catwoman around whenever she showed up for an episode. My Adventures with Superman's been doing that. That's been really refreshing.
You know what?
With
Teen
Clark
Titans
and Lois.
Go again.
Teen Titans Go, the original show, or the Teen Titans Go?
Well, yeah. I'm talking about recent ones. Like that, they got the Raven Beast Boy thing. That's always going on.
That's not a real romantic subplot. That's a joke. Is that show still going?
Why not?
Is that show still going?
Yeah, the show's still going.
How much longer is that going to happen?
It's the longest running animated DC show.
Is their goal just to make it
it's like The Simpsons for kids.
Great.
It's just going to keep going.
I think
forever
The Simpsons
and ever.
is The Simpsons for kids at this point.
Well, it's intended for kids rather than.
But yeah, no, I'm enjoying Invincible a lot. I'm liking this.
I don't have much. There's really not much negative to say about the story at all.
We'll see where we end up. We get by the end of the season. We still have a couple of big voice casts People are yet to see who they're playing.
And you know what? I think this is. I think Invincible is doing more for me than The Boys.
Oh, especially. Oh yeah, for sure. Especially after last season of The Boys.
The Boys has spent so long meandering and doing nothing.
It was really just 4.
It's nice to see a show where things happen.
3 was good, and then 4 was a lot of treading water for the most part. And then the problem with the treading water seasons is that like those would have been fine, like good even, if we weren't taking 2-3 years to make these new seasons. The problem is we're waiting 2-3 years, and it's there's like,
and then you get a whole season where nothing happens.
Yeah, where we're just abusing Huey for 8 episodes. It's like, all right. Like, I would have been fine with this if this was a year after season 3, but I've been waiting a long time for this.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, Invincible. I think Invincible is. I don't think that's a hot take to say Invincible is better than The Boys.
Yeah, not at this point.
I'd say it's. I don't think it's a hot take at all to say it's the best superhero thing on TV right now, or even recently.
Yeah, I mean, what is it competing with?
Exactly.
Just that Spider-Man cartoon? Like,
I'm not even. I'm saying airing right now. I'm just saying like stuff coming out in the past couple of years, like superhero stuff. So all the MCU shows, I guess Penguin maybe the Penguin.
Well, the Penguin isn't airing right now though.
I'm saying recently. I'm saying like stuff that like superhero shows that have been coming out recently.
Yeah, I mean, I think Penguin's probably better.
Penguin,
maybe, at least like.
But even, that's not a superhero show. Better. That's a comic. Like if
the Penguin, like every episode, you were like. This one, it's like you have your downtime episodes.
Yeah. But that's even fine. I enjoy the downtime episodes of superhero stuff. Usually more than like the robot.
The pace of the Penguin was just a lot faster.
Oh yeah. But no, that's all.
Yeah, I think that's about it. There's not a whole lot on right now. Severance. I haven't caught up with Severance. I'm watching it, but I haven't caught up.
Where are you at? How are you liking it?
I'm trying to remember the last. It was the one where he's holding the things, and the severed employees are living in the real world. Well, the guy's holding the levers.
Oh, okay. So you're at the end of season 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. So you're not that far behind. You only.
I don't think I finished that episode. I think I was in like the middle of it.
Oh, that one's got a great. That's got a great plot twist at the end. You're gonna love it. Anyway, Severance is great.
To the part where the girl realizes that she was she's like works for them, and she's like an author making a whole fake book about how she's
Yeah, I'm enjoying Severance. That show's great. I've been watching that Spider-Man cartoon, which ends this week, and it's pretty solid.
I do want to watch that. I just haven't. I'm gonna finish Severance first.
Mythic Quest is mid as ever, and then.
Yeah, but then they did a Mitski song, and I was like, "Dang it!"
I do.
Now you got me again.
I do love.
Are we not getting a one-off random episode about an unrelated thing this season?
I think we are next week. I think that's what next week.
Okay.
Is.
Because I looked at the release,
also
like the next up episode, and it didn't seem like there were any that were that.
Okay, but I know they're also doing that spin-off show that is all those, so maybe.
Oh, maybe they're not doing those anymore.
Maybe not.
That'll just be its own thing.
But the reason I think it is next week is I think Ashley Birch wrote and directed that episode herself, so I'm guessing that was like her whole thing. Like that's.
Who is she?
She plays one of the testers on the show, the one that gets proposed to at the end of the last episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, yeah.
But it could be that. I don't know. It could be any of these episodes. I don't know. Anyway.
Interesting.
That's it for the McDonCast for this week. We'll be back next week for more news. What's going to happen? Probably more stuff that won't ever come out.
Probably more things that won't happen.
We have to wait another month for the Nintendo Direct on the Switch, too.
April 2nd.
April. Still waiting for a good movie to come out this year. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yep. Nothing so far.
Bong Joon-ho, save us. Save us, Bong Joon-ho. With Mickey 17.
Alrighty, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.